Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping.
People have been caught getting stuck in the strangest of places. Although some of these scenarios seem funny, especially if you have a dark sense of humor, the end results may not have always been a happy ending. Ready to find out some weird places where people got stuck? From a guy who got stuck in his own chimney, to a repairman who got trapped inside an ATM machine, all these people got stuck in weird places.
Hey, can you turn it off? My mom's gonna be pissed. Stop.
Number 10. A cement hopper. This one was a rather sticky situation. When an Alameda County Fire Department rescue team received a call about an industrial accident, they had no idea what they would be facing. A worker from US Pipe and Foundry fell into the silo after losing his balance while cleaning inside, but found he was unable to move when residual cement on the machine's floor began hardening around his legs. Alameda County Fire secured the worker with a harness to prevent him from sinking deeper into the cement. They also gave him oxygen during the ordeal. Crews drained product from the bottom of the hopper to alleviate the dry cement from around the man in what was called a confined space rescue. It took firefighters more than 2 hours to extricate him from the hopper. He was rushed in an ambulance to a nearby hospital and treated for minor injuries, but released the same day, according to the local fire department. How much do you love your friend, or rather, how far would you go to help your friend? No matter how much you proclaim your love, I'm pretty sure it doesn't come close to the trauma Kato had to endure in the name of being a good friend. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Number 9. A toilet. In 2016, a Norwegian man named Cato Bernstein Larsen found himself in deep trouble after he tried lowering himself into a public toilet to retrieve a friend's cell phone. He'd volunteered for the disgusting task because he was thin enough to get inside. Cato became sick as he stood thigh-deep in its contents and had to spend an hour completely enclosed in the small area, stuck with his hands forlornly clutching the rim, unable to clamber out. The toilet's tank was located underneath the seat, allowing enough room for Cato to become trapped. To his dismay, the tank, which isn't connected to a sewage system and is only emptied sporadically, was full of human waste. It was damn disgusting according to him, and explained it as the worst experience ever. He got sick and started vomiting since he didn't like confined spaces. There were animals down there too, and he was bitten several times. Friends called the fire brigade, who were forced to destroy the toilet to free Mr. Cato, who was unsuccessful in retrieving the phone. After being treated for bruising on the arms and disinfected by medics, he said, "I really hurt and am going home to rest. I will never go down a toilet again." Well, I guess he was in a pretty crappy mood, pun intended. Number 8. A giant stone vagina. We've all heard about the awkward A&E arrivals who, each to their own, require rescuing from some fairly distressing situations. You know the sort, the "I just fell onto this Ken doll and now it appears to be stuck up my bum." But this story potentially tops them all. One US student, who has somehow managed to remain anonymous, must have been feeling rather fruity because he managed to wedge himself inside the chicken pie, making love, sculpture of a vagina at the Tübingen University's Institute for Microbiology and Virology in Germany. Yes, you heard that right, he got stuck in a vagina statue. The statue, which was created by the Peruvian artist Fernando de la Jara, has been in existence for years, but never before has it found itself in such a compromising situation. In 2014, the anonymous student had the brilliant idea of having a picture taken by a friend inside the statue, but in the attempt, he got trapped. What was meant to be a funny dare turned into an utter embarrassment for the student. A total of 22 firefighters, 5 fire engines, and a number of paramedics were sent to the scene. and it took a few hours of manual work to free the student. Although he wasn't harmed, his reputation certainly was. Number 7. A claw machine. A giant see-through container full of plush toys is any child's idea of paradise, and they will attempt any means possible to inhabit it. For 3-year-old Jamie Bracken Murphy of Nanagh Tipperary, Ireland, that meant crawling through the small flap from which the toys can be retrieved and finding himself lodged in a claw machine. Murphy was on display for about 10 minutes before an off-duty fireman was able to coax him back out the way he came in. Jamie's father, Damien, expressed little surprise at his son's predicament, saying that he was sitting with Jamie's 5-year-old brother, Shane, before hearing muffled complaints behind him. He continued to say, "I turned around and just see Jamie's face looking out from behind the glass. I wasn't surprised at all, really. He's a very mischievous, sharp kid who's always pushing boundaries." All this time, Jamie was relaxed as if enjoying the company of his soft friends. Great to know that he was out of harm's way. Number 6. Cash machine. In July 2017, it was reported a repairman was trapped inside a cash machine in Texas, in the US. The worker was fixing a lock in a room behind the Bank of America cash point in Corpus Christi when he accidentally locked himself in. How does one become stuck inside an ATM in the first place? Well, the ATM was affixed to a bank, which was under construction, so no employees were inside, though it was operational. Somewhere on the site was a door leading to the ATM vault, a room from which a person can service a teller machine from the inside. Banking on some good luck, the worker, who realized he had left his phone in his truck, tried to grab the attention of customers using the machine by posting notes begging for help. Unfortunately for the man, several ATM users who got a note thought they were being pranked and apparently did nothing. So there the man remained until finally one ATM user took one of the worker's notes seriously enough to tell the passing police officer. The note instructed its reader to call my boss and provided a phone number. One note read, "Please help, I'm stuck in here and I don't have my phone. Please call my boss." The officer, like previous bank patrons, initially thought the note was a joke, some sort of candid camera type prank that no one wanted to fall for. But then the officer approached the ATM, and when he listened closely, he could hear a faint sound. Once the authorities called the number, they reached the man's supervisor, who'd confirmed he'd sent a worker to the site. Before you wonder why he couldn't just scream for help, he did for a continuous 3 hours. But it seems the vault was nearly soundproof. The moral of the story is to always have a pen and paper with you. You never know what rabbit hole you may get into. Number 5. A washing machine. Sometimes games of hide and seek can go very wrong. That was the case in 2014 for a man in Australia who climbed into his top-loading washing machine fully nude to surprise his partner. Unfortunately, he was unable to climb back out. Responders were able to pull him out within 20 minutes and were able to dislodge him using olive oil as a lubricant. First Constable Luke Ingram told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that, as a rule, my advice would be for people to not climb into appliances. The warning went unheeded by another Australian man in 2015 who found himself lodged in a front-loading machine and had to wait while rescuers disassembled the entire unit in order to free him. Number 4. A baby swing. A California man became stuck in a baby swing for about 9 hours after a wager went horribly wrong. After making a $100 bet with friends, the man lubricated himself with laundry detergent and squeezed into the swing. While he managed to slide into the seat using liquid laundry detergent, he couldn't slide back out. As his legs began to swell, his friends abandoned him overnight. He wasn't rescued until 9 hours later when a groundskeeper heard his screams for help at 6 o'clock the following morning. Firefighters freed the man by cutting the swing's chains. He was taken to a local hospital where the baby seat was removed with a cast cutter. The man sustained non-life-threatening injuries to his body, but there's no word yet on the condition of his ego. Number 3. A chimney. There are many Santa jokes to be made, but when you're the man trapped in your own home's chimney for 4 hours, there probably isn't a huge urge to start laughing. In late 2016, a Tucson, Arizona homeowner who had locked his keys in his home opted to retrieve them by re-entering his abode via the chimney. While it was a spectacularly bad idea, he actually almost made it. His feet were touching the floor of his fireplace before the space grew too narrow to allow for any further passage, and he got stuck. Firefighters were able to pull him out from the roof, covered in soot, but otherwise unharmed. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in a future video. Number 2. Underground. This is clearly a Photoshop scenario. The image has been used as a thumbnail for countless YouTube videos talking about people getting stuck in weird places. The origin of the image is unclear, but we would love to get some insight if you have any clues. And number 1. McDonald's high chair. A drunken woman left her friends in hysterics when she got stuck in a child's high chair during a late-night trip to McDonald's. The woman, identified as Maria, decided to climb into the baby seat, but unfortunately, she didn't think about how to get out. This all happened at the Dundee branch. She was rescued by firefighters after spending 2 hours trapped in a baby's high chair. After friends and staff failed to release her, firefighters had to be called. Video footage shows a clearly embarrassed Maria with her hand over her face in shame and hiding a very embarrassed smile. As absurd as all these stories sound, which of these was the most shocking of them all? Let us know in the comment section down below.